What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. I am super excited to making this video. You guys have no idea. It took me so long, years and years now. Let me back it up. This video is about modified flexible food cycling. It is something that I'm not going to say I invented, but I pieced together in this puzzle that I've created were pieces that were there that it took me a long time, guys. I've been doing IIFYM before IIFYM was ever invented. Okay, back in the day, we would use pretty much any foods, and we'd write everything down in a diary, and we'd look everything up and weigh everything, because we didn't have the online food calculators and MyFitnessPal and shit. And we did that all off season. And when competition time came, we buckled down and did the bro diet. That's pretty much what it was. And you know, things progressed, and another form of IIFYM was using the Biockickz diet, which was like 2 to 3 Biockicks a day, and then eating whatever you want to cover the rest of your calories for the day. That was like in the mid-90s, 94, 95, 96, somewhere around there. So it had been a while since I was doing it. I knew there were good and bad applications where many people, if you let them run with IIFYM, they will take it and run wild with it and actually do themselves a disservice. Like, they'll wind up going over their macros, they'll wind up eating things that trigger different cravings and food addictions and all kinds of shit. Then you get other people that can just handle it. Then you have people that go on the bro diets and they're so strict with everything that it makes them fucking nuts and they binge. Or they go on the bro diets and they can handle it. So it's like both of them have their applications and both of them have their good and bad parts. And I was like, how the fuck? I don't understand. Like, I realized this is one is used like this one is used like that. How the fuck can you use these things together? Now, Bruce Lee is always a big influence of mine. Took Wing Chun Kung Fu, boxing. He took different martial arts and fighting systems. He took the best things that he thought was the most efficient and the easiest to apply to an actual fight, and he turned them into something called Jeet Kune Do, JKD, which JKD, Jeet Kune Do, which was his own fighting system. So he took all the old things, the best of pieces, and created something new, and all the pieces were there. Nobody just saw them as he did. And although there are many flexible dieters out there and many bros, both flexible dieting and both bros both stand on both sides, firm in their stances. You know, bros say their way is the best way. IIFYM says there's the best way. You know, there's no single best way. I feel there's an efficient way and a fastest way, but not necessarily the best way, because if you can't stick to something, then you're never going to finish it anyways. And neither one of those sides really bend. And I think that, you know, IIFYM people that really believe in that veer towards the bro foods and the bro type of experience when they get closer to a show. So it's almost like they become bro towards a show, and people that eat bro wind up in the off season go veering towards IIFYM. So it's like they both cross over to the other's theories at the same time, which means that there had to be an application, but I couldn't figure out how to do it, and nothing was making sense. And if you start, you know, I went to just strictly IIFYM for a while after the Team Universe. That didn't work out well for me because some of the foods actually had chemicals in them. Some of the foods triggered different fucking blood sugar crashes and stuff in me that were just weird. There were foods that just weren't good for my body, but the bottom line was, you know, I said, okay, this is not for me every day. The bro also is not for me every day, but flexible dieting as a bro and flexible dieting with junk, I was able to figure it out in the last contest prep, which was for the Max Muscle, which I did, the Shredded in 30. I mean, nobody's going to say that dropping 18 pounds in 3 weeks is not a drastic amount and it's very fast. I did bro IIFYM together, and what I did for that, which part of this experiment, was I would eat my bro foods, which were, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday what I would do is I would adjust my macros to a certain way so that I could change the foods, and then Sunday I would change the foods again, and back on Monday I would change the foods, and I was experimenting back and forth and back and forth. And I've done this in the past, but in the past I've veered towards mostly bro or mostly IIFYM, and again, you wind up getting stuck in one of those ruts where you need the freedom to have these things work together in unison. And again, you know, it wasn't my best ever shape that I was in for that show, but I did get the results very fast, and that's what I was looking for, you know? I mean, even if you know, the show time had been extended, I probably would have had to go more towards more bro foods to control my macros a little bit better, to make sure that I got into the, you know, the really, really extreme condition I would have needed. But 18 pounds in 3 weeks, just, it signified, holy shit, this can work. The average person that's coming to me to diet, they want to be able to have the foods that they like and not be restricted super bad, or super bad, not really be super restricted the whole time. And that's important to them, to have those foods, to be able to go out with friends and family and have barbecues and, you know, do these things. It's important. So this is more of like a lifestyle, not really competition, although it can be applied to a competition because I just did it, which worked out perfectly. you know, but veering towards all of one type of diet, like anything else, everything in moderation, right? Well, IIFYM is very not moderation. It's very extreme, saying, no, we want to have our fucking Swedish fish as, not saying all, but many of the ones, you know, and part of the problem that I found was people that, when they do IIFYM, they listen to the IIFYM dieters, and they listen to these people say something and they hear something else. You know, they hear them say, I save, you know, 200 calories out of my day to fit ice cream because I like ice cream and, you know, that's what I do. Whereas they go, okay, I'm going to turn Swedish fish into my carb. And the whole day they eat Swedish fish for their carbs, which that's not what really the IIFYM people are talking about. But bros at the same time, people say stuff like, you know, you'll say stuff like, oh, you know, I'll do this caloric restriction. I'll have 0 carbs and I'll have this and all that. And then what happens is people hear that and they kind of go away from that. Like, oh, it's too strict. I don't want to do that. So like both IIFYM and bro dieting kind of can lead people to the right direction, but in the wrong direction at the same time. So what I've done is basically taken them and be able to apply them. But here's the key. They can't just be applied on a blueprint. There's no blueprint how to do it. Your body's different than my body, different than his body, and they have to be adjusted and used certain ways accordingly, which means certain days are bro foods, certain days are whatever the fuck you want to eat foods as long as you're hitting the macros. Certain days are refeeds with clean foods. Certain days are refeeds with junk food. I mean, all these things have an application, but the problem is, how do you apply them? That's what the modified flexible food cycling is. It's using foods cycling rather than just necessarily calories cycling. So it's like you're not on all bro for one time, you're not on all FYM for one time, you're not on a refeed every Sunday or every one. It would change as your body needs it. And since it is bro based, like a foundation is very, you know, healthy foods. I want to say clean, healthy foods. You do get the results faster, but you're not restricting yourself from those foods that you like all the time. You can still have fucking chocolate cake. You can still have a slice of pizza. You can still have a burger. You can still have whatever the fuck you want inside this diet that gives you that mental release of something to look forward to, rather than, you know, constantly worrying, I have to eat chicken breast and broccoli. But, you know, to get the fastest results possible, you know, there's a certain way to do things. So although this is not the, I would say the extreme fastest way would be like all bro foods, I'd say this is just a step down to the most extreme way to get the fastest results. And, you know, my Shredded in 30, if you go look it up right now, there's a playlist on the YouTube page. Shredded in 30 was done. You guys can see me being flexible with my diet, talking about it in the episodes and stuff. That was the precursor to what you're seeing here today. So I'm super happy and proud to announce that I honestly feel like I've blended the two worlds together. And, you know, some IIFYMers are going to be mad at me because I preach a little bit of bro. Some bros are going to be mad at me because I preach a little bit of IIFYM. But that common ground is where we all really need to be because we're involved in the same shit. And if we can get it to work like I've done now, that's exactly where we want to be. You know, nobody has to argue with anybody. I mean, it works, period. So I appreciate you guys just checking it out. It is on biostraining.com in the store right now. I'm BioStree and I approve this message, and we're out.